All right, here we go. Carpentry 1, I'm going to introduce you to technical drawing. So first thing we're going to do is go over the architect's ruler. The architect's ruler has a standard ruler, the imperial ruler, 12 inches, broken down into 16ths. And we're going to be using a scale. 1.5 inches equals 1 foot. So if you look on the ruler, you're going to find that 1.5 right here. And there's where we're going to get started. 1.5 inches equals a foot. Going from the right to the left. 0. That's your starting point. And then you see it's 3 inches, 6 inches, 9. So in between, that's 1, 2, 3 inches. 4, 5, 6 inches. 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12 inches. Okay. Now, there's a 1/2 inch. So there's 1 inch, so that's a 1/2. And then the quarters are in between. So it's simple enough if you take the time to look at it. Now, for feet, we go this way. So 1.5 inches equals a foot. So we're going to slide along here, and you're going to see that this is 2. But that's actually the first 1 foot mark. That's 1.5 inches away from 0. And then the next one, 2. And then the next one, 3. And the next one, 4. And the next one, 5. Now the reason you're not seeing this in sequence of 1, 2, a 3, 4, and 5 is because if you're using the ruler the other direction, this is 3 inches equals a foot. So here you see right here, 3 inches equals a foot. So that's the starting point of 0. 1, 2, 3 inches, 4, 5, 6 inches, 7, 8, 9 inches, 10, 11, 12, and so on. You see what's going on here? So if you're reading the ruler this way, you come back, we're going to skip that one, and then you see it's 1. And skip this 2, and that's 2. Now just take a moment to think about it, and it should make sense. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our paper on our drawing board. You ever hear the saying, back to the drawing board? That's what they're talking about. Okay, here we go. You take your T-square, your square, very sharp pencil, and you're going to want to have a block eraser. I don't have one here right now, but you're going to want a block eraser. Here's our architect's ruler. We talked about that earlier. So to get the paper square on the board, you take your T-square and you line it up flush to the edge of the paper. And you can double check it by taking your square and coming here, and you set the square on top of the T, keep it together, come across, and it should be parallel with the side of the triangle as well. Once you do that, you're going to take some tape. You don't need a lot. That's all. Break off a piece, put it on the corners, the very outside of the corner you want to capture. You don't want to take up too much of the paper. Make sure the paper's sitting flush, it's square, it's flattened down nice. I'm going to square this off and put the tape on. All 4 corners. Get it down there. Now, to get a good proper connection here, you want to take your thumb and you want to heat up that glue on the tape. Rub it, a little friction, cause some heat. It's going to heat up the glue. It's going to give a nice bond to the board. Okay, now we're going to put a border on here, a 1/2 inch border. So we're going to go to the standard ruler, the imperial ruler. Start at 0, or you can start anywhere, wherever you're comfortable. What I like to use is 10. It's got the 0 there, and it gives me plenty to hold. If I'm going around the board and I'm just dropping some 1/2 inch marks or 1/4 inch marks, I might use the 10 as my starting point and go around. So go to the end of the paper, put the ruler down. 10 being my 0. 1/2 inch, so come in a 1/2 inch, put a point. So on the bottom, you're gonna go a 1/2 inch, that's our border. For the lines for our writing, for our title and all of that, we're gonna go up 1/4. So let's just do it all at once from the bottom. 1/2 inch, then 1/4 for the first line, the next quarter for the second line, and 3/4. So you should end up with 4 points on the bottom of your paper that look like this. And note these points, the lines go left and right, not up and down, because we're drawing that direction, okay? 1/2 inch in, put a point. 1/2 inch in, put a point. 1/2 inch down, put a point. And then we're gonna draw that border around with our tools. So one more time. 1/2 inch, then quarter, quarter, quarter. That's gonna be the spacing for our writing. on the bottom. And you'll see what I mean as we go along. Have my bottom set. Find my starting point. Again, you can use any number you want. I just like, for some reason, I like to go to 10. I like the 0. All right, 1/2 inch. I'm putting the mark up and down this time, 1/2 inch. Now here, I'm gonna come down 1/2 inch, and I'm gonna put the mark left to right. Just slight though, so we don't lose our proper measurement. And then over here, 1/2 inch. Now, take your T-square, lock it to the side of your board, slide down, take your triangle, 90-degree angle, create the 90-degree angle, and this is important. You put the pencil on the mark, slide the tool to the pencil, everything's locked into place, the T-square is locked on the side of the board, triangle is tight to my T-square, pencil on the mark. I'm going to bring the line up, and then I'm going to move my T-square up, and I'm going to drop the triangle the other direction, pencil to the mark, and bring my line down. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. Pencil to the mark, tool to the pencil, drop a line down. You want to do all light lines in the beginning so that if you have to do any erasing, you can. And then we darken everything in to give it a nice finish. So back to the mark with my pencil, over to the tool, drop the line down. Now I'm going to go across the top, pencil on the mark, tool to the pencil. And it's also important that when you're doing this, that you have the proper angle on the pencil. You want to be the eraser away from the tool. That way you're getting a nice crisp line on the mark. If you have the pencil straight up or in towards the T, you're going to move the lead out just that much. It's going to throw your mark off. So here we go. Across the top, a light line, down to the bottom, pencil on the mark, tools locked into place, a light line, pencil on the quarter mark, a light line, next quarter mark up, pencil to the mark, tool to the pencil, pencil to the mark, tool to the pencil again. And now you'll see that we have a 1/2 inch border. We have our area for writing, and all of the writing is going to happen in between this middle section. So what you're going to do here is put your first and last name. Notice I'm writing in all capital letters, nice and neat inside here. I'm rushing. I might even take my time if I'm doing this, but for the purpose of the video, I'm rushing along. So first and last name. Then in the middle here somewhere, you're going to write shed build. You want to practice these letters, okay? Shed build, and then we're going to put the scale over here. Scale 1 1/2 inch equals 1 foot. Okay, here we go. And you know, if you want to do the one like this, that's fine too. So now we have it. Our first and last name, shed build, and our scale. All right, now let's put a block here just for some notes if we want. Up 1.5 inches, in from the side, 3. Up 1.5 inches, in 3. Take your tool, find your marks, pencil to the mark, a light line across, get my square, line everything up nice, pencil to the mark, tool to the pencil, and there's my block down here in the bottom. Clean up any little extra lines as you go if you want. Looks like this, okay? Now we're going to find center of the paper to begin our drawing. To find center of the paper, we don't need to do any measuring. We take our T-square, flip it upside down, put Put the edge of the T-square on one corner of the border and come to the other corner of the border, right here, and put that there. Take a pencil and put a very light line right here in the middle. Then we take the T-square and we line up the other two corners. And again, it's from the border to border corner. Take your pencil and put a light line. Now, where those two intersect, that's going to be our center. So we put a little dot. Everything starts from the point. Okay? Just like you did. So now why don't we darken everything up so it looks nice, and then we'll go on to our drawing. So take your time, darken it in nice, get rid of any extra lines you don't need, and we'll start our drawing. And again, important, pencil to the mark, tool to the pencil. The proper angle of the pencil, and give it a couple strikes. Then I come across the bottom here. Now, I like to stand up when I'm drawing. You can do it however you want. If you want to sit, I prefer standing. And there we go. Pencil to the mark, tool to the pencil. Everything's nice and snug, tight. Get some crisp looking lines here. Bottom mark. Holding that pencil at the proper angle. Might as well do my block while I'm here. Bring that over. So I just did all of the horizontal lines. Now I'm going to do the vertical lines. Take the tool, pencil on the mark, tool to the pencil, and draw that one. Now I'm not going to flip it over and come back. For time, I'm going to come down this way. And I'm going to mark this side. And then I'm going to move this up. I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to put back to the mark. Finish this line. And then come over here. Pencil to the mark. Tool to the pencil. And there we go. Now we have, oh, I missed one. I missed one of the, come on now, Robbie, you missed one here. All right, here we go. Right there. And I didn't hold my tool nice, and I got a sloppy looking line now. So you gotta work on the muscle mechanics. Get everything nice and neat as you can. Okay. There we have it. We have our border. We have our area for notes. We've got our name. We have the project name and our scale. We found center. We are ready to do our drawing. Here at Quincy High School, I took technical drawing 45 years ago. Best class I ever took, most useful class I've ever taken. I use it all the time in my career in construction, and now here as an instructor. I use this all the time. Very, very useful skill. Okay, enough of that.